Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It's Friday, October the 24th, 2025. I hope everyone has had a great week this week and is ready for some holiday crafting. I see the holiday stuff's coming everywhere. I had to make a quick stop at the vet this morning for some more meds for my little Frank, and they already had Christmas music playing there at the gal's desk that worked the front desk, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm also kind of here for it. um, Oh, thank you. Wilma says she loves Fridays with me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love Fridays with you guys as well. So I have a really fun project today. I love making tags, as you guys know, and these are inspired for sure by some stuff I've been seeing out and about, like for Christmas trees this year. So they're tags, kind of tags slash ornaments, if you will. And I've had this idea for a little bit. And of course, this week, Spellbinders dropped their holiday gift guide. And if you haven't checked that out, I have a video here on my channel. And I also have a blog post about it. I was honored to be asked to give some of my top picks for the gift guide, and I have a video also on my channel that I dropped this week with a couple of those products featured for brand new projects. Say that 5 times fast. So if you're interested at all, check those out. And also, if you are shopping Spellbinders, now through November 16th, 2025, if you use code Nichol10, and that should be down in the description as well as a link to shop. You can save 10% off of your Spellbinders purchase. There are some exclusions like clubs and clearance items, but otherwise you can pick up a lot of your Spellbinders favorites. So definitely use that if you're doing a little shopping. Hello everybody. Yay, Judy gets to be at a live. I'm so excited. About the Fa La La stitching dies. No, Laura, I have not yet. Let's see. Shopping based on top picks. Oh, awesome, Marta. I'm so glad. The other thing I want to mention, so I kind of sneaked this last week that there were 2 big things. One was the gift guide and a nice coupon savings for you guys. And the other one is the Glassboard Studio, the new Magic or Mag ink. I don't know how you say it exactly. These are for your ink pads. They're magnetic and they will stick to your Glassboard Studio magnetic mat. So I have a video for those as well, and you're going to see me use these today. And the other new product from them is these little craft catcher trays that you can put right up next to your Glassboard Studio mat. And I wanted to mention them because today is the last day to save 20% off of these if you're interested, and you can use my code. The code is Nicole15, but you can get 20% off of your purchase if you purchase today. So awesome new products. I totally love them. Definitely check them out. Oh, and I got mine in this seaside teal color. Seaside, right? I think so. But it comes in like 13 colors total. So you can get any color you like to match whatever you like in your craft room. And just anytime you shop Glassboard Studio, use my code Nicole15 because that does save you some money on your purchases. I had to buy it because you posted them in purple. You're so predictable. My friend Pam loves purple. They are so good in purple, aren't they? They just whatever color is your favorite color or matches your craft room. I love that there's a wide assortment of those. I even think, okay, wouldn't it be cute to get these? These come, the ink pad holders, the Mag Ink ink trays, they come to a purchase. But if you have a crafting bestie, how fun would it be to get like a rainbow and then you each, split those up and you each have an assortment of rainbow trays? I think that would be cute. That idea literally just popped into my head and now I'm like, I should go buy them right now. Because then you can match your ink pad to your little ink tray here. So super fun. Okay, it might be a long live today just because I want to make several of these tags. They are rather involved. I'm going to get my glimmer heating up. I'm going to make sure it's warming up. Question: is the inside bottom of the craft catchers magnetized? No, the craft catchers are not magnetized because they're not made to be used on top of your Glassboard Studio mat. They are made to, let me see how the best view, maybe this view. They are made, this little edge slips underneath your Glassboard Studio, and then this little lip here, right here, butts up next to it, so you can either scoop things into it and then funnel the product back into your storage container. Think like gems, sequins, things like that, or scraps, and funnel that into the trash. So they are not magnetized. Good question. Nichol being extra. Yes, I always. Corolla says Roy G. Biv would be nice, right? Michelle loves the idea. I'm glad, Michelle. Okay. Oh, good. Diana bought them. I'm so excited. Yes, Rochelle, it is cold, rainy Wichita, Kansas. I have already been out running errands. Like I said, I had to run to the vet. I had to run to Target and pick up some stuff. That's all I've done so far today. I have more errands I have to do later. But I couldn't have picked a worse day. It's cold, it's rainy. Although, wasn't I just the one complaining like a week ago maybe, or two live? Who knows? They run together. I was complaining about it being too hot, so I'm going to take this 60-degree weather, and I'm not going to complain. Yes. Oh, Tanya says her glass mat has the rainbow colored splatter design on it. That is perfect. I should have mentioned that. Thank you, Tanya, for bringing that up. I have the plain white Glassboard Studio just, you know, because video is my job and whatnot, and I just wanted kind of a simple background. But you guys, the amount of amazing Glassboard Studio glass mat designs you can get is so good. You can get it in anything your heart desires, and I highly recommend that Glassboard Studio mat. I have not looked back since I got mine. I absolutely love it. Cleaning it is a dream. Even if I have stuff stuck on it, it comes right off. I've had zero problem keeping mine clean. Okay. Michelle says, going on Christmas list. Yay. Linda says, fellow ICT girl, fantastic. We've got several from Wichita here. I love that. Okay. Let's talk about what we're using today. And what I loved was when I posted my Spellbinders holiday gift guide top picks video, if you will. I mean, look, we had to limit it, or I could have been talking about my favorite Spellbinders products for hours and hours and hours, and no one wants to watch. I say no one wants to watch that. Don't you guys contradict me. But B, I don't want to edit that. That's the real reason. But one of the things that that I mentioned is a favorite, and people, like multiple people, either DM'd me or left messages and said, I don't know how to use this embossing folder that's a postage stamp, and there are coordinating, it comes with the 3D embossing folder and the dies, and they were hoping I would use it, and I was like, haha, stay tuned till Friday. So we are going to be using this set as the base for our project today. I do have one made, and I'll show it to you. I chose not to do this one live because it is using something we used last week, so I wasn't going to use that again, but I wanted to use some other things. But I really wanted to show the versatility of it. 60 in South Jersey today too. Fantastic. And Pam, I am not shocked you have that purple Glassboard Studio glass mat. Not at all. And I love that for you. I love, love, love that. Let's see. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you so much, Janie. So let me see. What did I want to say about this? Maybe that's it. Maybe we'll flip the camera and we'll start doing some crafting. Okay, I do have a question for you guys. Do you like the picture-in-picture? Like when I have my down camera on, do you like the circle? I've been doing that in my virtual event lives, and I've done it here and there a little bit. I'm going to try it today. If you guys absolutely hate it, though, just let me know and I can remove it very easily on my end. But I thought if you want to have me in a little, you know, in the little circle, no, I'll be over here. No, I won't. I'll be over here. And then the rest of it is the down camera. Just let me know. And again, if you don't like it, if enough people are like, ugh, I wish it was just the down camera, just tell me. Monica says yes. Okay, I'm going to do that today, I think. And we will, well, we don't want me in 2 time. Hello, Athena. Yes, we love to see you. Okay, thanks, Pam. So, let's talk about what we're going to be making today. Did I totally mess up my camera? Sure did. I must have bumped it. Let me get it straight because that drives me bonkers. Straight-ish. Yes, picture in picture. Great. Oh, low 84. Yeah, Deanna, no. I need it to be cooler for sure. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to make today. And I did use Mickey as my example. So we are going to be using this frame to make cute little tags. Like frame tags where whoever's in the tag is popping out. And in this case, I used the Steamboat Willie Mickey, also part of the gift guide. The Say Cheese Christmas embellishments, that's his Santa hat, the scarf. Those things keep going in and out of stock from Spellbinders, so sign up for notifications if you want to know when they are back. Corolla, thank you so much for this super chat. That is so sweet of you. Thank you so, so much. So we're going to be making this little frame for him to pop out of, and I did decorate this one up. And on the back, I used my favorite glimmer plate. I think this came out either last year or the year before, and that kind of makes it more of a gift tag. But I really, the whole idea behind these are, I have been seeing tons of frames, like little picture frames from different stores and whatnot, and that is what inspired these. So frames as ornaments. Sorry, I should have said that better. So like little gold frames that you hang on your tree, you can put pictures in them or not. You could print pictures and put them in these frames. I think that would be cute. I was going to try to do that today, but then I couldn't remember how my little printer worked and I waited too long. So I may try to do that and post it to social media. But I thought it's a fun way to make your own little ornaments that would be cute on a craft tree, or maybe you give them to your crafty bestie or whatever the case may be. Let's see. Oh, frost warnings. Koi, look. I need the bugs to die, so I would be here for that. Hello, Tina. Let me see. Oh, Jen said she didn't know that she was such a Mickey Mouse fan. Well, don't worry. We're not going to be doing Mickey for the rest of these. Now, I don't know. It's going to be hard to see in real life, and when I take photos, it shows up so much better. Actually, let me show you. I have one prepped before we actually do one here on camera. Oh no, did I just mix these up? Probably. The background for each of my tags today, I have so many die cut pieces. I hope everybody's here for lots of little piecing together. So I know I showed this in my recent video this week. I'm going to have to tilt it at an angle because it's very subtle. I used white foil on fog cardstock. This is the petite crisscross, let me see. Yes. Crisscross press plate that I foiled. Cross stitchers, if you're card makers too, you want this press plate. I am obsessed. Obsessed, I say, with this. I've had it for quite some time. I cannot believe that I have just started using it like in the last couple weeks. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why wasn't I using this all along? So we are going to be using that. So let's talk about the main things we're using today. I'm going to show the die sets, even though I don't think it shows super great because obviously it's a lot of little dies. This is the Clauses. So we're going to make Santa and Mrs. Claus in these frames, kind of like peeking in from the side, you know what I mean? So they are going to be featured in 2 of the tags. We're going to try to do 3. But I love this set. I always love a good Santa set, and I thought this would be adorable for kind of that traditional Santa kind of look. And then in the same collection is the Elves set. I'm only going to make one today. I think I'll just make the little boy elf, but they work hand in hand together. And so you can do all kinds of cards and scenes and scrapbook page layouts and all kinds of things with them. But I think they're absolutely adorable. So those are kind of the main dies in addition to our great Postage set. And this again is called the Postage Stamps 3D Emboss and Cut. And then the 2 main sets we're using are called Santa's Elves and the Clauses. I like how it says the Clauses. I think that's cute. I think I have those in my stash. Better check. Monica, go check. Go check. Okay, let me move those out of the way really quick. We're going to keep this out for a minute. We can move Mickey out of the way. So the other things we're using. So you may have noticed in our Mickey tag, there is a big bow and a little bit of greenery. I'm using my favorite Barn Star set from Spellbinders. This came out this season. Back in Christmas in July, we made ornaments with this set, but I also used this all during my 12 days of Stitchmas because the greenery in it is so good. So I kind of reuse this greenery over and over, and I am pulling greenery and the bow from this, although I feel like I'm missing part of the bow. I don't know where that went to. Well, I'll find it. I'm sure I stuck it to a different magnet sheet than what it's supposed to be on. And then this is that petite crisscross press plate. And what I love is because press plates can be glimmered or better pressed, the letterpress. So I feel like they are very usable, and I almost prefer them anymore to just a plain glimmer plate because you can kind of get that dual purpose from them, which I think is awesome. And even though this came out in a Christmas collection for 2025 from Spellbinders, it could be used all year long. It's just a great, great background. Oh, heading to the lake house. That sounds amazing, Valerie. Is the Santa and Elf the Simon Hurley dice? Yes, Marta. Okay, and then to make this a tag, because the frame is not a tag, but you might notice that it has that little tag top up there, I pulled out my favorite essential tag set from Spellbinders, and we're actually going to use this piece, and I'll show you how I am going to kind of incorporate that in between some of the layers of our little frame to make this an easy tag. You could also punch a hole in the top, but if you have any kind of tag set that has a fun decorative top at, you know, somewhere on it, you can sandwich that. I have done that with many tags over the years. This is just the one I'm going to use today. Mostly because I pulled this one out because it has my press plate that we're using to glimmer the back of all of these. Monica says to Valerie, we all want to go because that sounds like fun. 100%. Okay, let's start with a little foiling. That way I can pop this out of the way, and I am going to show you step by step how to emboss that postage stamp, because there are a few little tips and tricks that make it easier. But we're going to foil first. I thought we'll get this part out of the way. So we're going to start with our petite crisscross press plate frame, and I think I only have one of these. I still need to do this one. Let me double check, because while it's out, yes, I did all the rest of them. Great. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut my foil to size. And we're just going to trim this down into like a little rectangle, because I don't need this full thing. So is anyone joining, or is anyone signed up, I should say, for the Pink Fresh virtual retreat this weekend? I am teaching at it. If I'm going to see you, let me know. My class is actually Sunday. Okay, with our foil, just as a reminder for everyone, the shiny pretty side, which I know it's probably doesn't show up here on camera that great, that one is not the foil side. The foil side is the dull side. So I have my press plate, I have my foil dull side up, and then I wanted to only press a little bit of this. I didn't want to do a huge panel and pop it down, mostly to try to maintain that centered version of this. So we're going to take our die cut postage stamp background and we're just going to place it right there. Oh, my machine went off. Shoot. Let me turn it back on. It'll have to warm up again. Anyway, it should warm up pretty quickly and we're going to get going on that. Let's see. Aline says, yay me. What did I miss, Aline? Did you? Let's see. Oh, yes me, not yay me. I can't read. Ha! Yay! I'm so glad you'll be there. Saving the economy, one purchase at a time. Girl after my own heart. Dixie will be there. Fantastic. Oh no, Layla says, so mad, ordered from Simon Says Stamp and forgot to get white foil. Well, order from Spellbinders and make sure you use my code Nichol10 and you can save 10% off of your purchase of the foil from Spellbinders. Oh, Joyous in Christ as well. I'm so excited. So excited for this event. It is going to be a good time. Okay, we'll get that going now. We're going to do all of our foiling first. So let me get my next press plate because we are going to do the background that do not open until the 25th. And you can see my press plate is stained because I have used it as a better press plate instead of foiling. Either way is awesome. Late to the party. Oh, that's totally fine. Working on train ornaments. Oh, how cute. Let's see. Aline is attending. I love it. I'm so excited for you guys. I think it's going to be a great weekend. And just waiting for my machine to heat up because, of course, I had it heated up, but I talked too long. And then I do like that it has that auto shut off feature. However, I'm like, let's just get going. Layla says, enabler, hey, I'm just trying to help. If you can save some money on some crafty stuff, please do that. Here in Sweden, we celebrate on the 24th. Oh, I love that. Let's see, working. Oh, I've read that one. So is anybody else working on a fun project? Let me know. I'm going to run this through my platinum. Pam, that's what I want to know. Do you have the lilac platinum die cut machine? Since you have all the other purple goodies. When I generally like to foil a lot of things at once. That's what I want to say. So as I finish, I always put it right back in so that it can be heating up again. So we're going to peel this off. And look at our cute petite crisscross pattern. If there is any overfoiling, just some nice firm pressure with your finger will take it off. You can also use kind of like a toothbrush that you're not using for your actual teeth. Something soft bristled I found also takes this off, or a nail brush. I've used a nail brush too. But this all comes, any overfoiling, which was minimal, comes off with my finger easily. Look how cute that pattern is. I love it. All right, we are done with this press plate, so I'm going to move that one out of the way. Working on MDF reindeer. Oh, how nice. Working on some postage sets. Working on a quiet book for your 2-year-old granddaughter for Christmas. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, so for this one, we're going to use a little matte gold foil. And I'm going to try to get this cut, whoops, as close to size as possible. We're just going to try to get that cut in half. I need to do 2 of these. I had noticed that I had forgotten to prep one, and I thought, well, it's just as easy to do 2 even live as it is to do 1. Let me make sure that doesn't roll up. So for this, I am going to be glimmering first and then die cutting into the shape. Let's see. Question, what is the difference between your pretty purple machine and the big girl? The big girl is the big one is the 8.5 inch wide. My purple one is the one that I use most of the time just because it takes up less room. And if I don't have something, like when I have a huge project, I get my big one out. For all of my regular, I just use the 6.5. And the purple one does come in the Scout as well, which is the little 4.5 inch wide opening. So it's a little bit more transportable if you do a lot of crops or retreats or things like that. But I use the 6.5 inch one daily. That's the one I use most of the time. Working on Halloween treat bags for colleagues. Oh, how fun. I would love to be a colleague. Just mailed Halloween retirement announcement cards. It was fun. Oh, that sounds so cute. Okay, let me run my first reading through so we can get both of these done. And again, I just want to put this right back into my carrier. We'll double check that it came out good. Look at that foiling. I love, love, love all of the foiling. And then we're going to take that other little piece of foil and we'll just foil one more time. And then we're going to be done with the foiling today. Athena says hubby left hunting this morning for the weekend. So all weekend I am making Christmas cards and tags, and yes, I'm so excited. Is there anything better than a weekend completely to yourself? I don't think there is. Isn't it funny? I feel like the older we get, sometimes I'm like, I just want a weekend where no one wants anything. I'm not required to be anywhere, and I can literally, let's be honest, stay in my pajamas and do what I want all day long. Craft all day long, no cleaning. Yeah, all of the things. Working on some stitch snowman or ornaments. Oh, fun. Under a pile of paper says, loves my Scout too. That's so fun. Monica says she agrees. Working on a felt garland made with, oh, my dies. How fun. I love that. All right, let me run this through. And let's hope this one came out good too. It looks like it's gonna. Oh, perfection. Okay, we'll die cut those here in a little bit. For now, let me just go ahead and put this big old glimmer. It's not that big, but it's in the way. Would love a long weekend to myself crafting. Carmen says yes. I'm pretty sure in November, I'm building that in to a couple of weekends because I've gone straight from Stamptember, and then I had 3 virtual events that I've taught 3 weekends here in October, which is great. I've loved all of them. It's been so fun. But I definitely am looking forward to a little time out. a little Nichol time. Okay, so the next thing we're going to work on, let me grab out, let's talk about die cutting these frames. So I'm going to show you guys, let me grab everything. Are these all done? Yes. We'll just pop that back in there for now. Judy says, I'm finishing bonus cards from Handmade Holiday. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Karen says, I always want weekends to myself, and I do this weekend. Oh, fun. It's hunting season soon, so Tabitha says she gets what, let's see, I get to do what I want until he gets a deer. I always pray he gets one on the last hunting weekend. That's amazing. Okay, so let's talk about our frames. We're going to work on 3 of them, and I want to show you the 3 steps. The only step I'm not going to do on camera is die cutting, but I am going to show you how I did it. Because there is a trick to this, I feel like. So this is the die cutting, whether you're using the rectangle or the arch. This is what it's going to look like. And what is awesome, you'll notice that we foiled on a solid piece. So there's a lot of ways you can use this set. You can die cut the whole thing, place the whole panel in your embossing folder and emboss it. Keep it like that. Die cut another piece. Let's say you use the rub-ons. Rub-ons kind of came out with the same collection. You can put rub-on some paper. You can die cut that, and then you can layer it on top of the shape. Either one of these. I love that the pieces are separate. So that's one way. Or you can simply layer it and put whatever you want on top. If you want to make it more of a frame like we're doing today, how I did this so that it would be as equal as possible, because you'll see in here, it is going to emboss that shape within the die cut shape. Don't be afraid. I have made all of the mistakes, so hopefully you won't. So what I did, let's do this first, is I placed my 2 dies, whether I'm using the arch or the rectangle, down on my desk. And then I grabbed a long piece of the yellow tape, or whatever tape you like to use, and I grabbed them like this. Double check that I think it looks good, and then I die cut my frame from my cardstock. So that is the first thing I did for each of these frames. Really, it's as easy as that. Okay, after we've done that, for whichever one we're doing, now comes the embossing folder part. And I ruined a bunch of these, and I have figured out something that causes me not to ruin them. So what we're going to do is then we're going to take our shape and place it in our embossing folder. And I found you want to make sure whichever side of the embossing folder you're using, make sure you're using the side with the well in it. That way when you place this down, it's going to emboss correctly. But what I found worked best was lining it up inside here and using a little bit of that yellow tape to hold it in place, because then there's no shifting. Then I close my embossing folder, and actually that's not super straight. Hold on. Let me try again. You can see right where it's going to emboss. So I'm just going to eyeball that again. And if you want, you can even tape it down in a couple of areas. I'm going to flip it over. Oh, I'm putting it down too close to the bottom edge. Hold, please. Maybe because I'm holding it funny for this camera. There we go. That's going to be better. And then I'm going to double check it. Does it look like it's pretty even? Is it close? Great. It's time to emboss. My second live, and I've got a similar die set. Oh, yay! Okay, so now I am going to bring my machine somewhat over here. Let me see. I have that extended handle, so it's a little hard for me to get it. We'll just kind of make it work today. How about that? Okay, so for a 3D embossing folder, the sandwich for the platinum is going to be just your standard platform base, your embossing folder with the cardstock in it, and then you want your D adapter plate. Simple as that. Okay, let me see if I can make this work. I've had to make my handle goofy. No one can see me, and I'm glad, because this is not, if I had my regular handle on, that would be great. All right. So then all we're going to do is pop this out and look at our cute little embossed frame. Super easy. So then you just want to kind of carefully, so you don't rip your cardstock, just peel that yellow tape back on itself. And there's nothing wrong with this tape, so I'm probably going to use it again. So I'm just going to stick it on top. I stick mine on top of my die cut machine until I'm kind of done crafting, and then I'll come back. In fact, while we have our die cut machine out, let me see which ones I need. I need it for both of my rectangles. Sorry, I bumped my camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my solid piece, and I am going to die cut my do not open. And this time I'm going to use my sandwich for die cutting. Let's put my embossing away. And we're just going to run this through. I don't want to force it. Let's see. I have some issues with that sandwich anytime with the gray plate. Definitely don't force it. Is there any chance? Okay, what embossing folder are you using? Is it a spellbinders? Because I will tell you, if you're using a Simon Says Stamp embossing folder, is the one that comes to mind for me, because I also cannot use it that way. It might depend on the company. If it's spellbinders, make sure you're not using any shims with that 3D embossing folder. Blonde Cards and Crafts says she uses the or leaves the tape on the machine too. I'm so glad it's not just me. I always feel like we should get the most. I gotta fix my handle. It's driving me crazy. We should get the most out of our tape before we throw it away. So I use it till it's not sticky. Like this one is probably, oh yeah, that one's done for sure. All right. But there we have our panels for the back. Late but made it, April, yay! Okay, so now we have our embossed frame. And then you can see that this one has a little bit of shading to it. Because I am me and I tend to be extra, you can leave it just like this. It's cute. It's fine. But I did it for this one as well. And I also tried out several colors, and I found that what I didn't want it to be super harsh or super dark. I still wanted to maintain that fog color. So I actually ended up grabbing this Distress Ink and Lost Shadow. Okay, Layla. If it is Simon Says Stamp, the packaging, that cardboard packaging you get with that, what I do, I keep it because the sandwich I make, do I even have one right here? No, not where I can get to it easily. I don't use that gray adapter with the Simon Says Stamp embossing folders. I don't know. I've never even looked. I probably have at some point. I'm not exactly sure what sandwich they recommend, but what I have found is I actually use the cardboard packaging in place of that adapter plate, and that gives me a good impression with those embossing folders. So definitely don't force it, but if you can find something else to use instead, I would like that cardstock, that's what I would use. Let's see, I received a box of goodies today. Yay! Oh, Carla says her box said, "Do not break down," was printed on her box of goodies, and she said all she could think of was, "I'm trying." I love it. Okay, so for these two that I haven't done yet, I only want to do a very light application. In fact, you can see that it's not equal or even all the way around. And cubes work great for this, but you can do it with any ink pad. And I am simply going to run it over this shape so that the ink is only hitting those raised areas. And it really draws out the postage stamp design. This especially works well with a lighter cardstock, but you can definitely change your ink color for whatever cardstock you use for your frame. If you're using black, I think white pigment ink looks awesome on that. So you could totally do that for that as well. And simple as that. That is really all there is to this. I use the same sandwich that you do for Simon Says Stamp, and it works every time, Leslie said. Perfect. That makes me happy. All right. So here are our frames. We're going to actually assemble our tags, and then we're going to start assembling our cute Santa, Mrs. Claus, and all that good stuff. So let's kind of get everything we need together. Or we're going to do the majority of the assembling, I should say. There's one little part of this that needs to wait. But this way is how you make sure you have everything you need if you're mass producing like I am. And keep in mind, I'm doing cute Santas and things, but you could totally build any kind of scene inside that you want. You could do florals if you wanted to. There are so many things out there, or simplify it even more and use those Spellbinders rub-ons to put into your little frame. That would eliminate a lot of the little parts and pieces. And you guys know, though, I'm here for all the parts and pieces. I'm here for you on Fridays. Let's see. So for each tag, how I'm going to build this is the back goes like this. So the foiling piece goes like this. We're going to take that long tag. Remember, I just picked some tag from my set. It's going to get glued, and we're sandwiching it between the backer and our beautiful background foiled piece. Then our frame is going to be adhered with foam on top with whoever we have popping out in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble these. Oh, good. Linda says, caught alive. I'm so glad. Gift tags are on my to-do list, April said. Which brings me, yes, I'm making the tags or ornaments, whatever you want to call them. But it brings me to my point. This, or what we're making, would be adorable on the front of a card. If you don't need any tags, this whole idea, minus the backer and the little hanging part, pop this on a card, pardon me, and put a sentiment underneath. Maybe you do a fun decorative background, an embossing folder, or stamping, whatever, glimmer. And this is adorable. So everything minus some of these extra steps to make it a tag are going to make it super cute for your cards. Or think about your pocket pages for December Daily. You could also just put this in a little pocket as a frame, and I think that would be darling too. Let's see. Probably a weird question, but do you guys make your gift tags when you give them as gifts or actually use them on your packages? Michelle, I do. But I do make a lot, and I do retire them. And I will tell you, my daughter, so do you guys remember last week when I made the other Mickey tags? I think, yeah, they're still, I don't know if you guys can see them here. These Mickey tags we made last week. When I posted those on social media, my daughter was like, oh my gosh, Mom, I love those. I want them. And I said, how funny. I told everyone that you would and that I'm giving them to you. Monica says, it would be cute on a card and do an extra to give the recipient for a tag. Very cute. Yes. Okay, so now we have these back to back. On one side, do not open. On the other side, our little glimmered background. Just want to make sure those are even. And see the little tag part hanging out? Easy peasy. Okay, we're not going to attach the top quite yet. Let's go ahead and do these. April uses them on her packages. I love this question. Does anyone end up not using them? Marta says you can use them on anything. You definitely can. That is what I like. And especially, I've really tried to start making them. For example, I think they're cute on a craft room tree. So let's say maybe you and your crafting best friends or whatever, maybe you have a group you craft with, exchange gifts. I like to make it something that they can use, not something that they'll necessarily throw away. And I will say I have my family trained up. I do use them on my packages, but we do not throw them away. We know that you take them off and we save them. And so, yeah, they all know that if you throw away mom's tags, you are in deep doo-doo. It's kind of, no one has thrown any away in years. And, you know, after I have some tags that I bet are 10 years old, I retire them. Or, you know, I have a tray of tags. It's kind of fun to set out. Almost as a decor, because there's so many and there's memories of making them. A lot of the tags I might not have anymore. I've let my daughter take some. She uses them for packages she gives people. And obviously I don't know what happens to them when they go away, but you know, that's okay. It's paper. I can make more. Let's see, Corolla says she uses them on packages and wine bottles, but she hoards a few. I do. I have hoarded. Trying to think how many I have hoarded. There are a couple I've made that I cannot part with. And those do end up being decorations on my craft room tree. Or something. Okay, so now we have our base tags put together. Let's start working on our cute little... Let's start with Santa and Mrs. Claus. Joyce and Christ says, everyone knows better than to throw away my handmade tags. That is awesome. See? Joyce and Christ has her family trained up too. Monica says because she scrapbooks, she keeps all of the tags anyway. That is a great point. So let's say you use them or whatever and have everybody pull them off. Then it's a great time to use them as embellishments in your scrapbooking, memory keeping, December daily, all of that. So great tip. I love that. Quilting question. Has anybody here done the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch folio? I have not. But if anybody else has done the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch folio, let her know. Okay. So I have my ink pad holders. And I want to show, you have to hit real hard to make those move. I would never hit it that hard or use my blending brush that hard. Okay, so I've got my little mini blending brushes because, of course, my pieces need a little bit of inking. So much work going into these, I would never throw them away. That's why I'm saying I've trained my family up. They know better. They know that they don't want to make mom mad. All right, I have lost... I bet this is the other arm. No, it is not. I think it's this one. It is. So Santa is going to be ringing his bell, and he's going to have the pack thrown over his shoulder, and I'm going to attempt to get out all of my bigger pieces here. And then I'll dip into my box for anything smaller-ish. Because there are a lot of pieces. A lot. Okay, maybe I'll just come back. Because I don't know where his nose is. Oh, there's one. Okay. So what we're going to start with first is I actually didn't die cut legs for either Santa or Mrs. Claus. And that's because as I was looking at these frames, I am imagining they're going to take up more frame than what there actually is. I kind of like mine popping out of the frame. You could totally put it back behind completely if you wanted to. And then you'd probably move it down even more. But I kind of like my, whoever I'm putting in, pop like that, imagining they're popping out. So that's kind of why I decided don't even worry about die cutting the legs at all. I am going to add a bit of shading. It does make a difference. I'll show you. Mickey has shading on any of the red, the green, or his yellow shoes, even though you can't really see those that great, and also the bow that I put down here at the bottom. Let's see. What did Lori say? My mother insists on purchasing my cards, and she keeps some of them instead of giving them away. Oh, Lori, I love that. Michelle says, I was just in the hospital gift shop, and they are selling handcrafted cards and was so happy. Oh my gosh, I love that too. That's a great. You know, that would be a great idea if you have an overabundance of cards. I wonder if you could just donate them there for them to either sell or do whatever they need to do with them. I'm using the mini blending brushes from Spellbinders to add a little ink. So I'm using Brick from Simon Says Stamp on the Pomegranate Spellbinders cardstock. And we're going to go ahead and do the arms, the body, and the hat. Hopefully I'm hitting everything. If I have to get it back out, I will. Anything super tiny, I'm not going to bother inking at all. Let's see. How fun. Okay, I missed something Lori said, I guess, because something about a witch hat. I gotta go back. Oh, let's see. Oh, about your mom, I bet. Okay, I'm with it now. So there is my red. Let me do a little cleanup. I don't want to get that red on anything. Just gonna move those out of the way. And then we're going to move to a little bit of green for Santa's pack. I wanted his pack to really stand out, so I did it in something other than red. And I did this out of the Fern cardstock from Spellbinders, and I'm going to ink it up with the Pine ink from Simon Says Stamp. Karen says our company does a big United Way campaign every year, and she donates her extra cards to sell and raise money for that. Oh, I love that. Karen, what a great idea. Let me soften that line a little bit. Okay, that's going to look good. All right. Oh, I forgot to do his hat. I knew I would forget something. Lots of pieces. Jennifer says her retirement plan is to make cards to sell. I love it. Let's see, I'm sure they would be handmade cards. Everything they sell goes back to buy for the hospital. They actually purchased a CT scanner. Oh, Michelle, that's so awesome. I love that. What a great way to put your projects, your extra projects to good use. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of, as I am finishing inking a few things, I will start assembling. So I'm going to assemble the little palm and the brim of the hat. Try not to make too big of an inky mess. And Deanna says they donate to the retirement home. They love receiving cards. Some of the residents don't have family to receive anything during the holidays. Yes, I have done that in the past. I do like doing that. I agree. Okay. I'm going to get out my layering pieces for the arms. We're going to tackle the face and the beard last, because that definitely takes a little bit more thought on my part. I'm going to get all these little pieces out for Santa's coat. Let's go ahead and assemble that. So we've got his belt And I am going to do this little white trim along the bottom edge of his coat, just because I think part of that's going to be poking out of the frame. This is a great, if you are ever looking for somewhere to donate some of your cards and things, if you've got an overabundance, bookmark this video in the chat and definitely check that out because there's a lot of good ideas in here. Okay, and then we got the cute little buckle. He's getting built kind of one little piece at a time here, but that's how you do it. Okay, let's see. I am looking for, yep, that's one of them. And that's not the other one. That must go to Mrs. Claus. Everything is in the same box together. Did I get it out? Oh yeah, I did. There it is. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put his gloves in place, and then we're going to build the trim for those as well, which I did out of white glitter. So the gloves are actually Raven black cardstock, and the trim is going to be a white glitter cardstock. Oh, I love that, Michelle. She says she's retired, so that's what she does. I love that so much. What a fabulous idea. I actually have some cards I found in the basement the other day, and I was just thinking, I kind of had forgotten they were down there. Maybe that's what I should do with them this year. I think that would be really good. And I did notice that a lot of them are like get well or those kinds of cards, so that would even be better. Oh my goodness, it's starting to come together. Okay, so I am going to pull my pieces just to kind of I like to double check. The whole time I'm working with anything that has a lot of what I call moving parts, I like to double check multiple times before I start gluing this together. So this hand is going to be sticking outside of the frame over here and jingling his little bell. Let's see. Jennifer says, not a card, but I framed Heroes Don't Wear Capes cross-stitch to her urologist who treated her since she was 3 years old and turned into a blubbering mess, but he loved it. Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay. Santa's face. I am actually using, I'm going to move these. This is why I need to order more of these ink holders so I can have all of my inks. I don't need this yellow at all. So I'm going to use this cookie color ink. Just a little bit to add a touch of shading around the edges. You could also use your favorite markers to add some shading, but I really didn't want to get markers out for this, so we're just doing... This is going to add enough, I think, just around the edges. It's not even very much. And then for our face, what we're going to do, there are these dies that come in the set, or the set, that look like this. And these pieces, I'm so sorry, I'm going to sneeze. I'm back. These pieces are made to go back behind eyebrows and eyes. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to use my reverse tweezers. And we are going to build that. And I don't know if I actually need to use the eyebrow one. I'm going to use the eyes for sure. I'm going to double check. The reason being, well, maybe because I want it to be a little higher. Never mind, I am going to use it. I love that Spellbinders has started incorporating or having some of these pieces in their die sets so that I'm not having, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, I suppose, to cut my own to go back behind, but let's see if that'll focus. That way his eyebrows and his eyes, we're not having to fiddle with any teeny tiny pieces. Ah, thanks, Nicola. Oh, thank you, everybody. I hope I muted it, but who knows? Maybe I didn't. All right. So now that I have that backing piece, I'm actually going to layer this onto this white piece. Oh, that black is not. I don't want that showing through his eyebrow. All right. So now we're going to place this on this white. And I'm not going to actually do any shading on this backer white piece because not much of this is actually going to be shown. So there is a little score line in it, just to know where that lines up. And that all that's really going to be seen are these little areas on the sides, because if you can tell, there's a score line right here. That's where Santa's hat's going to go. So I am just going to put a little adhesive along the top edge. And we're going to pop his hat in place. And then we're going to work on his beard and mustache. Now, again, you can use your Copic markers or whatever you like, but I'm actually going to do my ink blending for this with just a little light gray. So the beard's going to go like this. Then we're going to pop his mustache. And then there's another piece for his nose. Look at the face. It's coming together. His face is cute. We also, probably one of my favorite pieces for the face, which we'll add here in a minute, are his little spectacles. I love them. Bye, Corolla. Have to finish the replay. Gotta run. Oh, take dog. Yes, good luck at the vet. Okay. I just noticed I forgot to get out my gray ink. Coming along nicely. Every little piece you do kind of adds up to a cute finished design. All right, so I'm going to use a little flannel ink for my gray. Oh, I got fuzz on my brush. There we go. So I'm going to load that up with a very light gray color, and I'm only going to go around the edges, just kind of building that color up. And you can always darken it. Aw, thanks, Sheila. Because I don't necessarily want to change the color of the white. I just want it to have that great shading that everything else on this tag is going to have. So, any fun weekend plans from anyone? I know some of you are attending the Pink and Main event, which I'm teaching. I'm super excited about that. Any other fun plans? Are you doing your own thing? Do you have family activities planned? Let me know what you got going on. Okay, so next, I was going to layer on those pieces for the cheeks, but I don't really want to. I think I'm going to grab some pink ink and do a little blending instead. This was totally a game time decision because I did die cut those pieces. So I'm going to take a little of the pink pastel ink. And I'm actually just going to pounce kind of, and then I do a very small circular motion. It doesn't have to be super neat along the bottom because that's going to get covered up with his beard. But I think I'm going to like the ink a little bit better. Let's let's wait for the spectacles for a minute. And I'm going to place my glue along that bottom edge. And we're going to bring our beard to Santa here. And see those little pink cheeks? I think that is so fun. Going to Color and Cotton to get some for a cross stitch project. That sounds amazing. Bank holiday weekend in Ireland. And daughter and family are coming to visit. Oh, that sounds amazing. Having a YouTube live tomorrow. And Sunday visit with mother-in-law. Jen says has to work. Wah wah. Darn it. Should rake leaves, but we'll stitch instead. Monica, you and me. I feel like that would be my choice as well. I do need to do a little bit of yard work, but we'll see. So I'm going to put a little glue on the nose. And this is really going to help the face. And then we got to look for Santa's nose in here. It is little. I'm going to just take a little bit of whatever was on my brush from his face, just the edge, just a little bit. I might have to glue that mustache down better. It's not wanting to stay. There we go. Let's put a little more glue on this. Question, what are the frames called? Oh, the Postage Edge, I believe. I think they're the first product listed in the description. I will tell you. I have it pulled up here on my screen. Postage Stamps 3D Emboss and Cut folder. So Postage Stamps 3D. And if you search for that, you should be able to find it. Okay, look at Santa. Now, got to add his spectacles. So a little bit of glue. These I die cut from brushed gold. Look at those. Aren't those cute? All right, let's check out our Santa now. And let me see if I'm missing, oh yes, his bell. I want to do his bell. I think other than what I want to put along the bottom edge, everything else in here is for Mrs. Santa, Mrs. Claus. Oh, thank you, Sharon. That's so nice of you. So what we're going to do for my bell, it's 3 pieces, and I have die cut it from brushed gold, kind of a champagne vellum, and then the little, the bell part that rings, that is also from brushed gold. And that's just to give it a little bit of interest. Is the reason I did 2 different colors of cardstock here, but you definitely don't have to. Does anyone already have this set? Because it has been out for a little bit. It is not brand new. It is new this season, but it's been out for a little bit. All right. We are going to go ahead and put everything here in the frame. We're going to save the greenery part just for a little bit. We can do any of that here in a little while. But I want to put my bell in Santa's hand. We're going to tuck. Monica does. Awesome. Let's see, I checked and they're in my cart. Oh, that's awesome, Sheila. So we're going to tuck Santa's arm. I only did a little bit of glue. That's going to give me a little bit of time to figure out his pack here on his shoulder, because I want it to partly be in his hand and then to look like it's kind of up over his shoulder. That looks good. I bought the whole set. Surprise, Tabitha said. Tabitha, not surprised. Which she knows I'm not. Oh, darn it. I'm making a gluey mess. As always. That's the kind of crafter I am, is a gluey mess. What did Jen say? No, but I'll own it soon. A girl after my own heart. Right there. Okay. So I know Santa looks funny because he has no legs, but you know, he's going to be in the frame. We're imagining. So Santa's going to be popped kind of just like this. Isn't that cute? So what I like to do from here is I'm going to just turn it over for a minute. And I'm going to use some thin foam adhesive strips. I'm not going to glue him down because we're going to try to attach just with this foam. Kind of eliminate the need for some extra glue. Oh, I'm so glad, Sheila. I love the ColorWheel paper too. I'm so glad to hear you're loving it. All right. And then, because I don't want Santa to kind of have a dip in him, we are going to just on the back, we'll put a little bit of foam here too. We don't have to go too crazy, although you guys know I love my foam. And then we're just going to peel all this off. Sounds good, E. Briggs. Oh, good. Marta, it's in stock at Spellbinders is what Sheila's saying. Check Spellbinders. I know they've been trying to get stuff back in, especially the holiday stuff. Good to know. All right. So I have a little bit of wiggle room before I fully pop him down. And that is exactly what I wanted right there. Make sure that all of this is going to line up. And we're just going to pop up this frame on the other one. Lining that up with the background. Not much of this foil background shows. Not as much as Mickey's because Santa took up a lot of room. But that's okay. Look how cute. Oh my gosh, he's precious. What a cute Santa. All right. We're going to just set him aside and we're going to work on Mrs. Claus. Maybe we'll do her in this frame too. 100% have to have foam, definitely for the holidays. Well, all the time. Hi, Danae. Finally catching live. That's okay that you're late. No worries. You can always watch the rest on replay. Okay, just like I did with Santa. Here, we'll keep Santa close. I'm going to grab out my Mrs. Claus pieces. It helps me to visualize. I mean, I laid them all out when I die cut, but I like to kind of help visualize them when I go to put them together. She also is going to be missing her legs, but her arms need to be moved up. That's the ruffle trim of her dress. I guess not missing them so much. She just doesn't need them because she's popping out. Getting supplies for card classes ready. Nice. All right. Do I have the majority of what I need? We'll come back for anything else. Yes, I think so. All right. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of go a little bit in reverse since these ink pads are already out. So we're going to do her hair first. And I'm just going to add that little bit of shading. And there's two pieces because it's kind of like she has her hair up. Darling set had to order. Lori says, yes, it's so cute. I really like that there's a Mrs. Claus. There's always a lot of sets with Santa, But I really loved having both, and I think they'll be cute on cards. Obviously, I'm just using them different today, but definitely made to be used together, apart, however you want to do it. Do what you want. That's my rule. Do what you want. All right. Just add that little bit of flannel. We don't have to do too much. We're going to do the face as well with that cookie color ink. Really light. Don't want to go too heavy. Just add a little bit of shading. And we're also going to add those pink cheeks to her as well. Thanks, Susie. In fact, I feel like for anything in this kind of, anytime you're doing a face or hair with shader brushes, less is more. You can always add more ink, but it's not, you're not able to take it away. Oh, I know what I forgot for her mouth. Because there are a couple little pieces for that. There's one. Let's use, there we go. Okay. And whatever's left on my pink blending brush. Janie says we all know that the women do all the work at Christmas. Yes, exactly. So I'm just going to carefully pounce on her cheeks because I decided midstream, if you're just joining, that I don't want to put the layering pieces on and I want to ink them instead, which I like. All right. We're going to flip her over and I'm just going to hold her with my tweezers. And I'm going to start, oh, I lied. I need to start with these little pieces here. I'm going to zoom in. I think I'm too far away. Lori says she just realized she doesn't own a Santa set. Oh my goodness. I actually own one from Spellbinders from a few years ago that I still totally love, but it's not available, so I don't use it in video anymore, but I still have it because I love him. Okay, so I've added like the tongue into that black portion for the mouth. Now we're going to layer this piece back behind. Let me see if I can bring, there we go. And then she has a nose as well that I see that I'm forgetting. I feel like these are too small. These are the cheek pieces. I wonder if I've lost it. It might show up or I might, oh no, it's right here. Woohoo, fantastic. No extra die cutting needed. So let's add that on. And then she also has layering pieces for back behind. Oops, that's a lot of glue. Layering pieces for back behind her eyes and eyebrows. Jennifer says, oh my gosh, Lori, run, don't walk, and add to cart. Oh my gosh. Oh, good. I'm glad it offset your shipping costs. That alone is so nice. Creating eye candy, I'm so, so glad. Perfect. You're very welcome. And remember, it's available until November 16th. I love that we get such a big window because that's really a great window to pick up the stuff we want to craft for the holidays. Okay, so there's our face so far. I am now going to put a little glue around the eyes. And just like we did with Santa, there's that little piece that we can then pop back behind the eyes so we don't have to inlay anything teeny tiny, which I love. And then I'm actually not going to use the white piece because I think when we pop, oh yeah, when we pop her head onto this backer for her hair, I think that's going to give her the white eyebrows. So we'll just eliminate the need for extra gluing. Sheila, you're welcome. You did a card a while ago with Santa and a curio style theme and it was so good. Yes, Danae, that's the Santa I was talking about. You got it, girl. Yes, I love that one. And this Santa is very similar in size, maybe a little bit different in style. Definitely a little bit more of Simon's style, I would say. Although I think it's very traditional, cutesy Santa. But he would work in for that same card. Yeah, I loved that card. That's one of my favorites. I did not keep it. Darn it. Sometimes I wish there's certain cards that I'm like, oh, I wish I still had that card. But I'm also glad I mailed it. You know, think I can always make another one. That's what I remind myself. I can always make another one. Just popping in now. Hi, Kat. Looks like I have to catch the replay. Well, you can, but you can also hang out with us if you want. We like it. Look at little Mrs. Claus' head. She's so cute. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to work on the dress. And just like I did with Santa, there's going to be a little bit of ink in that needs to go on. The only difference, so the collar, I use glitter cardstock, so it's hard to see. There is a little score line where her neck lines up. And because I'm not going to ink blend that, I am going to glue her head to that collar so that can be drying. We're just going to pinch it with our tweezers. And we're going to grab our pine and brick colored inks. Donna, hello, my friend. Oh, Tanae goes, then I went and bought him. Question, what's the name of the tag dies you're using, not the embossing folder with dye? Oh, Deborah, it's called the Essential Tag. Let me give you the exact name. I know it's Essential Tag. Let me make sure it's not tags. Essential, well, the dies are called the Essential Tags Etched dies. Which is what you're wanting. Yeah, the press plate is also Essential Tag. And it is called, it's just down here, Essential Tag Accessories, Press Plates and Die. So you can buy it as a combo or separately if you just want the tags. Hope that helps. All right, so we're going to load up some brick color first. So for her little dress, I'm imagining a green dress, and then she's got like a little red long sleeve top underneath. She's got green gloves. She's going to have red trim around the bottom, but then she has that white glittery lacy collar. Deborah, you're welcome. Julia says better late than not at all. Absolutely. We love when you pop in at any time. And I'm doing probably a long live today. I had a lot that I wanted to talk about and show, and these projects are not necessarily the super quick kind, but I also feel like I've started these early enough in the season that that's okay. They don't all have to be super quick. Sometimes we want to be super extra, and today is a super extra. All right, we're going to take some pine. And I'm also going to add a little shading to her dress so it's much more interesting to look at. And then there are some little score button lines in her dress. We're definitely going to have to add some gems I just totally pounced this, you can't see it, on the lid of my ink instead of on the ink pad. That's funny. We're going to add gems for her buttons. I love watching. Oh, thank you, Louisa. That's so sweet. I appreciate it. Oh, Monica, 100%. Monica says she would be cute on a card baking cookies. So we are going to have her holding a tray of cookies, but here's what I'm thinking. You know, neighbor gifts that you might pass out with trays of goodies? My cute little neighbor girls and their mom always bring over a plate of goodies with some cookies. But I was thinking, wouldn't these be adorable tied to those gifts that you may hand out for coworkers or for neighbors? I thought that would be super, super fun. That's one of my favorite ways to give a tag is like tied into like a cello wrapped either goodie thing or gift. I love that. Okay, we're going to layer on. I think you could do her dress in two-tone, but I kind of like that little extra piece there. Okay. I like the layer, and then we're going to just pop this on here. So far she has no arms, not going to have any legs, but we'll get those. Look at her coming to life. She's going to be so cute. Okay. Before I move the green, let's go ahead. Add a little bit to her gloves as well. I'm back. Did some shopping at Spellbinders. Oh my gosh. Yay. I'm so glad, Marta. Are there 2 right hands for Mrs. Claus? Okay. So here's how I'm doing. That's a good question. The die. I'm going to show you guys the die and why I'm doing this the way I am. Because you can really mix and match them however. So you'll notice Santa's hands are going the same direction because one is raised, holding the bell, and one is kind of down by his side, holding his pack up over his shoulder. So for the arms die cut all on one plate. Because I didn't want to die cut them twice, I am using the arms that were provided. So let me clean this and I'll bring her back in here and I'll show you how we're going to make that work. Is this arm is going to be kind of down here like this, holding this tray of cookies. And she's also going to be kind of like waving. So yes, that is a very good question. I went ahead and used arms going the same direction because it naturally flows good for the scene that I'm building. And I didn't want to have a lot of extra. So that was me making the most of my die cuts. Caption, Santa came early to neighbors. Oh, Monica, that's cute. I like that. Preparing for second craft fair on November 8th. Oh, DeWanda, we wish you lots of luck with that. That is awesome. Okay, let's add her gloves. And she's also going to have glittery trim on both of these. Because why not? We have to have glittery trim. She has a glittery collar. She's got little glittery bands on her mittens. So did Santa, though. Let me find those in my little box of goodies. Hello, Rachel. Been watching in the wings while doing laundry. Ugh. Has to be done, right? I feel that. That's on my agenda for tomorrow. Okay, so there's her arms. I know it looks a little funny right now, but I promise that when we add them to her, it's going to look good. And then on her dress, I decided to have this little red trim. So we're going to, and she's going to have red buttons on her dress too. So that just pops right underneath that bottom edge. Let me see if that will focus. You're welcome, Koi. Fun flock on the mittens. Yes, Monica. Okay, just like with Santa, I'm only going to do a little bit of glue where I'm attaching the arms because I need to tuck in her tray of cookies. And we're not quite there yet. And I did not give her anything else. Maybe she's just waving to the neighbors, you know. Oh, she's adorable. So here's her little tray. Here's our little cookies. And I'm just going to put a little glue down. I'm not even going to do any blending for this. These are pretty tiny. And we're going to add these little cookies to her tray. And then I want it to kind of look, yes, like she's holding it just like that. So then we're going to glue those down. It's neat that the face can be made as Mr. Okay, so actually it is 2 different faces. Let me show you guys that. The die, just like with the arms, will cut both faces at once. So there's a lot of aspects of this where I didn't want to like get rid of anything or have waste. So and obviously there's a lot of pieces stuck in here. I just throw my dies to get the pieces out a lot of times. There's a definite face for each. The one on the top is Santa. The one on the bottom is Mrs. Claus. Okay. Now, she also has some adorable little spectacles. They're more of like the little horned rim design instead of round. A tray of cookies for the elves. The elf is coming next. We do have an elf still. And I think these transform both of their faces so much. So here's how we're looking so far. Let me grab my red gem. And we're going to add a little red. And the other button on her dress actually got covered with the tray of cookies. So I don't even need to worry about that. But I think it would almost be cute if I put, yeah, I'm going to put one right here too. So we are still going to have two. There she is. She's telling Santa he forgot the cookies. Monica said, oh, I love that. Louisa, oh, thank you. Oh, you're so nice. Thanks. I do tend to love all of the little parts and pieces. I always just think of it as just taking my time. It will all work out. Okay, so we are going to also have her kind of like this, coming in from the corner. Really a lot like Santa. I'm actually going to just tack her down a little bit so she doesn't shift too much. Odin is totally snoring in the background today. This is not exciting for him at all. And Frank is choosing to lay in his kennel with the door open, but he's choosing to lay in it because he does not feel well. He has not a full-on re-injure, but he's re-aggravated his neck. So I have him where he can't jump on things, but I left the little door open to his crate, and he's choosing to lay in it, which is so cute. Plus, he took like a painkiller medicine, so it made him sleepy. Let's see. Love the glasses. Spellbinders always remembers the details, Danae said. 100%. Okay, so just pop in my foam. Actually, I probably should have been. I'm going to put another one right here where the neck is, just because I always think necks tend to be a little bit delicate. Do you remember the name of the tag embossing folder you showed the other day? Beatrice said. Tag embossing folder. Tag embossing folder. No. Can you remind me, like, was it this week? Or do you have any idea what video it might have been? It's eluding me at the moment. Mrs. Claus with a cookie tray might be my reason to buy this set. Laura, I'm telling you, there are not very many good sets with Mrs. Claus. I think she might be my favorite from this, truly. I agree. I think she's the cutest. That tray of cookies is everything. I think this tied to the neighbor gifts is what I'm doing this year. We're just going to pop her right in there, and there we go. Okay, before we move to the elves, while I have, oh, I forgot one thing for her. So, what I thought was super cute, the package does show this, but we're going to put like the little holly leaves and berries up here. I have multiple of these, I guess. But we're going to pop this in her hair because I do think that this brings a little bit of added color up here. Let's try this one. Just reminded me I need more foam strips, Tanya said. I know. Almost every time I place an order, I'm like, well, I should throw in some more foam. I'm probably good for a while. I haven't actually, the last order I placed, which was probably today, I didn't get more foam because I did just get a giant order of foam not too long ago. But I order more foam often. If I need to reach a certain threshold for like free shipping for things, more foam. Always. She looks like a real grandma, Julia said. Oh, I love that. Okay, so let me put the little berries up here. And these are also part of those detail things that we were talking about, like the glasses. All of that adds just the perfect like little finishing touches, I think. And then the little individual berries go on top. I have them cut, so we might as well use them. You could cut them from different colors, but I didn't. But I do like them slightly overlapped. There we go. Okay. So let's grab out our bows. And these bows are from the Barnstar Wreath set. And I also have some gold greenery. So just like this set had quite a bit of greenery coming out of the bottom, these might not have as much, right? I might add more. You can always add more later. I wish I had neighbors I wanted to give gifts to, Pamela said. Pam, look. I do like my neighbors on both sides of me. So I do give things to them, but my neighbor behind me, you know, the one who gives me a concert every time he mows, he's not my favorite. In fact, no one in the neighborhood likes him. He's one of those. Bless his heart. So we're going to go ahead and tack down these little gold. I mean, the frames are cute as is, but I always love a little extra. I'm sure everyone is shocked by this. Shocked, I say. Deborah says, what is the discount code? It is my name, Nichol 10. So Nichol 10. And I have listed it down in the description. You'll have to scroll just a little bit where I talk about my codes that I currently have for things. So in case you forget, you can always check that down in the description box. And it's good. The Spellbinders code is good until November 16th. Pam says, haha. Yeah, he's not getting anything. That neighbor behind me. I do not like him. I don't know. I probably haven't shared my whole story of those neighbors. They're something else. It's not just him. His wife is not friendly either. It's fine. One evening I was out walking. Well, it's happened twice. And my one next door neighbors, he stopped me to ask me something because the neighbor that's not friendly, and then my next door neighbor that doesn't have the two little girls. His kids are all older. He wanted to know if I was outside when the neighbor boys got into an argument. I was. It was ugly. So he just was asking me some questions and then proceeded to tell me all the gossip from some other neighbors that don't like this guy. And then my neighbor with the two little girls, the neighbor who's a jerk, they were just out twirling and dancing, and they took one step into his yard because they don't have a full fence. And he told them to get out of his yard. I was like, okay. They weren't hurting anything. They were just being cute. So he's real fun. He's not getting any presents from me is what I'm saying. No baked goodies for him. Maybe a lump of coal for him. We all have at least one, Monica said. Right? Unfortunately. Unfortunately. I'm always like, why you gotta be grumpy? Life's hard enough. The world's hard enough. Don't be such a jerk. I probably used a different word, but that's what I meant. I was like, come on, man. The girls are older now. That was when I first moved in here. Like that first year I lived here, and the girls were really little. And I'm like, oh, come on. They're just having fun. Coal, Susie said. He must be unhappy, but you wouldn't think so when you hear his concert that he puts on. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna have a little bow down here at the bottom, and I'm only gonna put glue in the center because I want to tuck some other greenery into this, I think. And there is a centerpiece for this bow that I'm going to wait to put on here in just a second. And then Santa's getting a green bow because he's got a lot of red going on. So I felt like green would be the better color here. And some of the these pieces I probably will do after our live. I did not cut all of the berries. And the reason being, I do want the berries for this little berry branch. So this is another little piece from the Barn Star, but I was afraid I would lose them or mix them up, and I wanted to die cut them right as I assembled those. So Mickey has those here tucked underneath the edge. So I'm going to do that for these as well, but I'll do that when we're done today, before I photograph. So by the time I get my thumbnail put up for this video, we'll have all the greenery in. It'll only take a second, but I want to go ahead and get my elf kit together too. Finish off my frames. Let's see, Kat says, my kids grew up with a neighbor just like, oh. Grandpa built a fence so that the neighbor would leave our kids alone. Yeah. It's just astounding to me. When Odin was I got Odin as a puppy when we first lived here, and I was on the schedule for my fence, but my fence wasn't up yet. So we had to go out with him all of the time. And of course, he wanted to bound over there and say hello. And then while he was over there, he would always want to do his business. And we came out with a bag and cleaned it up. And one day my daughter was out with him and he bounded over. He wanted to say hello to them. And this guy's wife was rude to Peyton. And Peyton was like, he's just a cute puppy. And we clean up after him and we try to control him going over there. But luckily my fence got put up like literally the next week. Thank goodness. Ugh. Neighbors. Love the greenery on the bottom of the tags. My greenery always looks weird. Kat, I think the key is full greenery to me always looks a little bit better than too sparse. Does that make sense? Let me put these little bow centers in real quick. I'm going to pounce on a little bit of ink. That's going the wrong direction. I don't even think I die cut my bow for the elf tag because I was worn out. But I definitely will add one because I think the little bow and the greenery add so much. So the key to foliage, in my opinion, is texture. If you can use brushed cardstock, if you can use some vellum, or if you have other textures of glittery paper, and usually it involves more foliage than what I originally think. So I'm always like, oh, I don't have to do a whole lot. And then always, invariably, I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to add more. And by the time I add more, that's when I think it looks good. So for example, Mickey, I had just the stuff down here on the bottom, and then I added this kind of vellum branch with some glittery berries. And to me, that filled in the space. That made it a lot cuter. So that would be my tip if you're struggling with how your greenery is looking. Okay, so that's cute. We definitely need a little bit more going on and probably something vellum-ish because I don't want to cover up too much. We're going to have a little berry branch and then probably a little vellum branch of some sort. Pretty much like Mickey. All right, let's do our elf. When I was growing up in New York, me, one of my sisters, and one of my brothers ended up in court because of the neighbors that lied about my brother. Thank God we won the court case. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. Yeah, my brother and his wife actually just moved. They don't live in the same place I do, but they have a neighbor that took them to court because my niece and nephew were playing basketball and the ball bounced into their yard and they wouldn't give the ball back to my niece and nephew. So my brother had finally had enough. They went to court. They won. They won, but they were like, we're gonna move because she's terrible. It's mostly was her in this case. Bad. So yes, whoever said there's always one of those neighbors, absolutely correct. Oh, I did cut the bow for this. I forgot. Okay, so our elf is going to be a little bit smaller. There is a boy and a girl version of the elf. Let me get all my little pieces. And I want to show you this set. It's at the bottom of my pile, of course. So you get all of the cute little pieces to build Santa's elves, which would be darling altogether, even if you're making some sort of a framed piece or, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what. Let's see. Who said wow or no? Sheila said wow. We don't have neighborly neighbors. Yeah. What is wrong with some people? Look, and here's the worst part. This woman teaches at Kansas State University. So I'm like, what is wrong with her? I mean, clearly, obviously, that's not little children, but I'm like, okay. Whatever. The fun. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we've done, but I'm going to kind of speed through it just a little bit. I might not talk through it as much, I guess. But I want to add my shading to my base pieces so we can build the cute elf because the elf's faces are adorable. And in this case, the same elf face will work for either one. Layla says, how rude. Right? I know. I thought when my brother told me that this summer, I thought he was kidding. And he goes, I'm not kidding. And I was like, oh. I mean, I literally, the whole story, I won't bore everyone with it, but the whole story, I laughed and I thought he was joking. I was like, oh, okay. Not well is what I thought to myself, actually. I was like, oh, well, darn it. Okay, let's do our little face, but we definitely don't want red, so let me get that cleaned up. I just realized I'm using these sets for the tags I'm working on. Rochelle, I love that. Sheila says it takes all kinds. You know what? Yes. That's kind of what I thought too. I thought, well, is what it is. That's my motto. I just try to be nice and like with my neighbor, I just try to be nice-ish. Actually, I just ignore him for the most part. Oh, I got red on my... Can I even fix this? I had red on my finger. Yes, I can. Phew! All right, we're going to add a little bit of our cookie ink here. I'm also going to do my little pink cheeks instead of that layering. And I wonder if I forgot to die cut the piece for the mouth. Let's look. Sure did. Unless, oh no, I didn't. There it is. I can't remember sometimes when I die cut ahead of time if I've die cut things or not when it's not super evident, but I see it here. Great. That's why we can't craft because it makes us all happy. Or that's why we craft, Lori says. 100%. I'm like, I always say when somebody's like super unhappy, I'm like, I think they need a hobby. Because I've never been unhappy crafting. I can tell you that. Oh, these pieces are so tiny for this, but they're going to be cute. So we're just going to go with it. So if you watched me put together the mouth for Mrs. Claus, our elf mouth is exactly the same. It's like a little layering piece for the tongue and then the background for the mouth. So I'm going to put glue on the back. And then we're just going to layer that over the top. And hopefully it's going to stay. Ignore the little glue bubbling out of his mouth. He's not a gremlin or a ghoul. The elf bumped his head, Monica said. 100%. We're just going to hide it. We're going to hide it under his hat. Actually, his hair. So the hair is super cute. And since I didn't do the girl, let me show you the girl's hair. So the hair, there's pigtails, which are adorable. And then there's this one for the little boy hair. It actually cuts. So I'm going to slip it on. Oh yeah, that's going to cover up my little mistake perfectly. It just slides on like so. And I have the hiccups. I've gone all this time and no hiccups, and now I have hiccups. Oh, I got glue everywhere. Let me do a little cleanup. There we go. Oh, I forgot to put the piece back behind his eyes. Hold please before that glue sets too much. Let me pop. There's a little black strip. There we go. So there's all the great little layering pieces there. That looks much better. Much, much better. Okay, here's his little face. Ignore my tweezers. Monica says, okay, so this year let's all give a card to a not great neighbor. That's actually a really good idea. It might not be my favorite card, but I like that idea a lot. Okay, and then we're going to stick a little collar piece on. And just like with Mrs. Claus, I don't know, can you see that little, oh, there we go. See that little score line? It shows you exactly where to place the head. So the head has, where's the neck piece for this? And I know I die cut this. Oh, there it is. So here is the neck piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it to my body piece first. I'm going to make sure that's where I want it to go. And then I'm going to put glue on the solid, whoops, got some gunk on my glue. We're going to glue the head Where did the head go? Oh, it's in my tweezers, ding dong. I'm losing my mind. 2 hours in, I'm losing my mind. Never unhappy crafting, Koi says. So cute. At first, I thought their clothes were felt. Good job of shading. Oh, thank you. Okay, so then we can just pop the head onto the neck. And just like with anything, take it step by step. I think that's the key. I've got to unclog this. It's been open for too long. There we go. Just like anytime you're trying to do something, by taking it step by step, that is how it breaks it down, and I think you get a lot less overwhelmed. In fact, if I was making these and not for video, I would probably just die cut kind of one of these at a time, not all of them, just to make it a little easier on myself. And did I? Yes. So we've got our layering pieces for our hat as well. Let me get the pom. And there's gloves and all of the good trim, just like we did for Santa and Mrs. Claus. Where is the cute bow die from? Oh, Kathy, good question. That is from the Barn Star Wreath. So let me show you that set again. This set is awesome. Back in July, I did a Christmas in July video. The bow tails have disappeared. I know they're around here somewhere. I'll find them. But I did a video where I used this and used these components. Plus, I use the greenery and the bow from this all of the time. The pine cone is also a favorite from this set. This is called the Barn Star Wreath. And it's the Country Christmas collection that was released in the summer, I believe. Sharon wants to know if Lawn Fawn Lobster is still my favorite red ink, and yes, it is. It depends on what it's for. Like for stamping sentiments or stamping, layering stamping or anything like that, yes. Shading, I often use something else. All right. There's so many little pieces to this, but this is what makes him so cute. So he also has an adorable little belt and buckle. Like this. This set is the cutest. I pulled out another set that I also think would be cute. Would be more of a critter type set. I'm not going to make them today, but just in case anybody was curious, I'll show that here at the end. Now, I didn't add legs for Santa or Mrs. Claus, and that's just because they're a little bit bigger. I'm not going to fully do all the layering pieces for the elf, I don't think. I may change my mind. When we take it to the frame, we may change our mind. I just ordered that star set for the bow. Oh my gosh, Monica, that's hilarious. I think you're going to find that you will use it for all the things. Because I kind of think the feet are still going to go underneath the frame opening, but if they don't, then I can always add the rest of the leg pieces. So let's grab our frame. Oh, I might want to. I might want at least one of the feet. Yeah, we're going to have to die cut them, aren't we? Oh my gosh, look how cute he is. Against this tag background, he is darling. Okay, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I am going to, though, die cut those. Let's get our mittens. And there's my mittens. Isn't he sweet? I always think it's so funny. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like this one as much. And then you get to adding all of the things and you get all the layers added and the shading. And then pretty soon I'm like, okay, now I can't decide which one is my favorite. And then, you know, I don't have to have a favorite. They can all be my favorite. Okay, I just need to decide what color to do. I need to look at the die first. Maybe it'll depend on how much layering. And there's even the little cuffs here. I did do white sparkle for those as well. I hope it's these two. All right. Let's see. Yes, Elf on the Shelf. Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that. My youngest loved Elf on the Shelf. I still have some notes he wrote him. They're the cutest thing ever. Okay. So there's several accessories in the Elf set, and I've actually used these for other things. The candy cane I have, and then there's like a lollipop piece, but I did the present and the candy cane. So let's glue those together. And then I am going to have to die cut his little legs. And then we'll wrap it up. I'll add the twine, and I'll do the rest of the bows and greenery off camera. But I love this little candy cane. So if you need a little candy cane, this one's good. So that one's going to be in this hand. And then we've got a little bow and package. I had to buy the complete set, Rochelle said. The complete set is so good for this. So good. It's so hard to pick a lot of times for me. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. I'm going to put a little glue here. All right, now let's get this set out and see what I need for his feet. Surely it's not a lot. Okay, we got the little boots. And these are the little cuffs that go on the boots. Let's do the red. Let me see if my red... Please tell me I'm not the only one who digs in their trash sometimes for scraps. Because this die is pretty teeny tiny. Maybe I'll put it here. So I'm pretty sure I can get it out, even out of a piece of cardstock that I thought was no good. All right. So we're going to do this first. I think I'm going to have to dig my sparkle cardstock out of the trash too, because I think I threw it away. Both of them have seen better days. But I think this is an image that we can get by with the whole thing. So we should do that. You are not. I do the same. Thank you. That makes me feel better. Let's just save those boots in case I want to do the girl later. Oh, we can for sure salvage something out of this sparkle. Okay. Let me put these dies back so I don't misplace. Oh, here's the end. I knew I put the bow tails on the wrong die set. They were on my elf set. Okay. And then we're going to have some little sparkle around the top of the boots. And these are actually still stuck on my cutting plate. Grab those. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Ta-da! Look how adorable this is. Dumpster diver in the crowd. Thank goodness. I'm so glad it's not just me. Yes, because I think it looks cute, like he's almost stepping out of the frame. All right, now, just for a minute, let's put a little glue in a couple of areas, like his hands, and maybe up here on the hat where it's going to overlap. So we can secure him just a tiny bit before we put our foam on here. I've emptied out my whole trash bag trying to find a small die just to find it buried under all my stuff. Tanya, I have done that too. Oh my gosh, I was so mad. I went through like 2 different bags of trash because at first I was like, okay, maybe I threw it in the kitchen trash, which was even worse. I didn't think so. I went through my office trash, did not find it. Then I decided, well, okay, let me just double check, because you know how you start thinking all the stuff. And I ended up finding it completely stuck to something else. I was so stinking mad. Oh my gosh, I was mad. Totally been there, done that. Right, we're going to just take the backing off of one of these strips so we can curve it around this top edge. Like so. Try to keep my fingers out of it. And let's grab a couple of little squares. One for the body, and we'll just do this piece right back behind his head. Cashed out another foam adhesive. I love how you use old and new. Oh, thank you. That is my favorite way to craft. I feel like lately I've been able to do a lot of that, which definitely makes me happy. Get all this foam off. And line that up. Oh my gosh. So I want to talk a little bit before I finish up, the reason I foiled the background on these is because I knew I didn't want to really do a contrast color. I didn't want to really incorporate another color into the design. And so I know that it's limited on some of these how much of that foiling you see, but I do think a little bit of foiling in the background often adds just enough difference to really add something cute. So let's take a little bit of baker's twine, and I'm doing, I think maybe about 9 or 10 inches should be good. Let's just go ahead and cut all of these the same. Definitely gonna add a little something extra, I think. We'll play around with it, see what we want to do for our little elf. Literally stuck under the Misty. Oh my gosh, yes. That's always a good spot to look too. Sometimes that magnet in the Misty, if you use the magnet with it, is so strong that it will hold on to things. I've had that happen. So we're just going to thread it through. I like the little touch of red and white since I did it really traditional Christmassy colors for these. And keep in mind, you could totally do any color you like. So if you kind of like something more modern and you want to use some pinks and some teals and reds and a brighter green, that would be adorable. Or maybe you want to do the blue, white, and silver combo that I used for some Christmas cards earlier this week. I think that would be cute too for some kind of non-traditional. And there we go. How cute are these little guys? Really fun. Definitely need to go back in. So what we'll do, we're just going to add in like some extra little green pieces. And the reason I kept that glue right in the center is because it's going to make it very easy. Like I could do it down here at the bottom. I think I had intended to, but I might change my mind about this. Might change my mind about the color of the bow too, since his feet are red. But you can just tuck in all those little parts and pieces. Okay, did I miss anybody's questions? As I was finishing up here, I was not paying as good of attention. Oh, thank you guys so much. Oh my gosh, if they were card fronts, some distress rock candy would have been perfect, Sheila said. 100%. Love, love, love that idea. That is a good one. Okay, let's see. I love that Spellbinders has printouts for their die sets. Oh, Rochelle, thank you for mentioning that. Yes. So if you ever are struggling with how to put some things together, this would be one of those sets. If you go to the web page for this on the Spellbinders site, one of the graphics they have like underneath the image shows you what all of the pieces are. So if you ever think, oh my gosh, I don't even know what this is, like the mouth piece, check out the little graphic because it shows you how they go together. And that is a great way to kind of figure it out. I would even recommend, and I do this, print out that if you can. And I store it with my dies because it's a great way and a great guide to know how to put it together forever. Okay. Let's see. Shakers, Monica said. That would be adorable. I love, love, love that idea. Spellbinders is so awesome, Sheila said. Yes, they are. I'm so glad you guys think so too. Okay. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me for 2 hours today, 2+, I guess. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am so loving being able to bring some fun Christmassy themed projects to you in our lives. Like I said, we're probably going to keep this going at least through November, maybe that first week in December, but then we start running into it's a little too late for getting too much done. Those will have to be quick and easy if we go too far into December. But I am loving being able to bring you some fun holiday projects on Fridays. Let's see. Oh, Tanya, thank you. Tanya says, give it a like if you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're catching the replay, thank you again so very much. And I will be back with you guys next Friday. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Bye, everyone.
The supplies used in today's video are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is another project that you might be interested in. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to never miss a new live video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.